In the formula, Israel has an idea of itself as very small and weak. That's Israel in 1948. Barely succeeded in surviving the War of Independence. I mean, truly, there were moments it was very hairy if it will succeed. And then it felt very small in attack for a very long while until 1967, the Six-Day War, and Israel, for the first time in its modern history, became the strong one, the dominant one. And that's very important in Israeli kind of self-understanding. From a position where you're strong, you can't imagine giving up anything because you don't need to, you're strong. What happens in the dynamic is after 1967, the Six-Day War, when Israel takes over Jerusalem, the West Bank, the Sinai, Gaza, Golan Heights, all of these things, Israel feels very strong, and the Yom Kippur War happens 6 years later. The Arab nations attack. Israel, again, a very bloody war, ended up with the changing of all the military command and the prime minister. Was in our view, a great defeat. And that brought Israel back down. And then we have 6 years later, 1979, Camp David Accords. That's Jimmy Carter bringing together Egypt and Israel into a peace treaty. Suddenly, Israel doesn't feel that strong, and it's gone lower. Its population demands not to go back to a situation that is so hairy again. So suddenly there's political space. The government gets political power that it can expend on doing something that at the basic level nobody wants, giving up anything. And on the other hand, the other side, the Arab side, suddenly feels strong because it just won something versus Israel, and it no longer needs to demand everything. It allows it to demand less. And that's an elastic moment in history which allows diplomacy to make great changes, such as the peace. If we go to point number 4, in 1987, the first Intifada starts on the 9th of December, runs till 1991. A lot of hoo-ha, people being hurt, mainly in the West Bank and Gaza, Palestinian uprising against Israeli rule through the occupied territories. 1991 it ends. By 1993, we have the Oslo Accords. That's Bill Clinton, Yitzhak Rabin, and Yasser Arafat. The first agreement with Palestinians. 1 year later, the Jordanians join in as well. Israel's longest border. Okay? 2001, the second Intifada. Again, the Palestinians uprise against Israeli occupation. This time it happens mainly within Israel, attacking a lot of civilians. And in 2005, Israel's government disengages from Gaza, has enough political will to give concessions to the other side. Benjamin Netanyahu isn't stupid. He has a lot of faults. But this isn't something that I invented. This is a well-known way of understanding Israeli-Arab relations in the Middle East. And Bibi wanted to break this cycle. He said to himself, I don't go out to war. And throughout 16 years of his prime ministership, Israel has not gone out to any large-scale war. The largest scale operation that happened was in that hiatus between Bibi being prime minister in 96 till coming back to power in 2009. Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't like war. He doesn't want Israel to go out and expand in that way. And he doesn't want to make any concessions. The next thing that needs to have concessions around is the West Bank. And he changes the situation. Give the Hamas enough money, electricity, water, all the resources that are funneled through Israel, enough for them to survive so that they don't want to have a big war against Israel, and do absolutely nothing in the West Bank. That was his idea, and it worked for him very well. I was thinking about it today. I don't know when each one of you have been with me in Israel, but if you think about it, once one of my lines when I was guiding um, would be that my problem with Benjamin Netanyahu is that he offers no future. And I suddenly remember that because it's changed since then. Benjamin Netanyahu never offered any type of solution, any type of clear future of where are we going in relations with Arabs. That was his plan. I always thought of it as something lacking in him, but that was his plan. Don't plan a future, and therefore you won't have any surprises. Turns out his calculation is wrong because we've just seen what happened on the 7th of October.